Hello, students. I'm sorry that this is posted a little bit late. I ran out of time on Easter Sunday. I did not have quite all the pieces together, so everything is posted and ready to go. So let's launch into our topic for this week. That will be facilities, and we're going to look at it both from airport system viewpoint, from our local airport, and also from your businesses. So let's hop in right away. So earlier on, we've looked at PlaneSense to get it. Sorry, I looked at our by the numbers to get an idea of how big our aviation system is in the US, and it's even larger internationally. So when we look at, there are 4 levels of airport service business involvement in physical facilities. The national and international airport and airway system that we've explored through by the numbers. The community affected economically and environmentally by the operation of the FBOs in the local airport. The airport itself, the runways, taxiways, ramps, terminal buildings, parking lots, and so on, and the FBO's own facilities. So we'll be exploring all that during this week. So there is a national plan of integrated airport system that is updated with all the information on where things are and where it's going over the next 5 years. One of the things you see happening at airports, including our local airport, is the Airport Improvement Program. So money from passenger tickets, fuel taxes, and other general aviation taxes goes back into the airport system to help keep the infrastructure on the airport up to date. So right now, in the US, there are 19,636 airports, 5,000 publicly owned, 14,000 privately owned, and by the way, the publicly owned number has gone down in the last year, the privately has gone up, 308 military airports, and 6 proposed airports. So any publicly used airports, whether they're publicly or privately owned, are eligible for the national airport grants. This is what the airway system looks like. And passenger service airports are categorized into 4 groups. Large hubs, 1% of passengers or more, 30 airports. Medium hub, a quarter to just under 1% of all in-plane passengers, 31. Small hubs, 0.05 to 0.24, 69. And 266 airports that are non-hub because they feed into a hub and do not carry a major portion of passengers. You also have your general aviation airports and your reliever airports. They relieve congestion at a commercial airport and provide general aviation access to the community. So especially in your larger cities, you're going to see outlying airports, some that now pick up some commercial traffic, and other airports that basically stay outside of that system and allow people general aviation access. So our airport here, the Yellowstone International Airport, also known as the Bozeman Airport, even though it's located in Belgrade, is overseen by the Gallatin Airport Authority. It became an airport authority in 1972. There are 5 members on the board, and you have the airport and director and staff that carry out the wishes of the board. In 2020, there were 600, whoops, Daisy, I have one too many digits in there, 624,000 enplaned passengers, that is people who got on a plane. That's down 16%, but given the situation in this past year, that's a pretty good number. More information is available at this link, which you will be using for your homework. The National Aerospace System, as we talked about at the beginning of the semester. Air traffic control, terminal radar control, general aviation aircraft, the actual controllers in the towers, pilots, and at any minute of the night or day, there's approximately 5,000 flights in the air. And during the day, you would think there are more, and there probably are some more, but you have a lot of Cross-country flights fly at night, and also a lot of the cargo flights fly at night when it's not as busy. The wider environment. You have your airport, and then you have the airspace around the airport. You have your approach zones, your flight pattern, your noise impacted areas, the airport users, and the greater community, which here really extends to the whole Gallatin Valley. So I would like you to contemplate what else needs to be considered in the wider environment of the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. So the facilities that impact FBOs, runways and taxiways, air traffic control tower, terminal building, lights, nav aids, utilities, maintenance, auto access and parking. And this is something that's often left out of plans. You can see with the parking garage that is actually pretty big impact, and space leased to other FBOs. So again, something for you to contemplate. How does this infrastructure that's provided by the airport potentially impact your business? So as we said, we have the airport system plan. The airport improvement program provides funding to these airports for planning and construction. Eligible airports are encouraged to prepare a full master plan about every 5 years. The Bozeman Airport master plan was supposed to be completed in 2020, but obviously things have impacted that. So it's still in draft form, and it has not reached its final form, which you will notice when you take a look at it for the homework. Smaller airports don't do a full master plan, but they usually do an airport layout plan. It shows their layout as it expands, is planned to expand over the next 20 years. It's a key end product of the full master planning process, but when you do a full master plan, there's a lot more documents in support of it. Smaller with fewer complexities may not need to do all this documentation. If they're small airport without a lot of growth expected, they may be able to submit a very simple plan. For those that do a master plan, these are some of the components: inventory of facilities, activities, and financial performance, forecast of demand for 5, 10, and 20 years, a demand and capacity analysis for runways, facilities, and any plans, development alternatives. They have their plan that they want to do, but are there also other plans? Are there also different possible layouts? Could you put a runway a different way? Could you put some aprons in a different place? Their financial plan, how to pay for capital improvements. Their noise and environmental analysis, and in the second mini lecture in this series, we're going to go back and talk about noise again a little bit. And again, the implementation plan. So here are the forecasts of demand, and then down here, the implementation program, how they are going to address that demand for 5, 10, and 20 years. And it also requires public participation, a technical committee that gathers information, and an open public process. So basically, businesses on the airport are expected to put in their information. If you get involved with the technical committee, you have a direct pipeline. Otherwise, you can participate as part of the public process. You want to make sure that the airport is considering the effects of the planning on future business. Private airports nearby can also be an impact. And then also airport revenue planning. Where is the money going to come from? Are you going to see your rents and things go up in order to pay for it? How is this going to work? So here's an example of some of the projects that you would see. And it can be planning, environmental studies, roads, markings, things you can't do, office equipment, fuel farms, landscaping, hangars. Those kind of things are not eligible. It has to be directly impacting the aviation part of the airport. So for homework this week, your first attendance activity, which you have received information in an email about, is to do a brief video uploaded to TechSmith, because that is the tool that we will be using for your career presentations, because that is one of the few things that D2L will allow us to interface with. There's a number of ways to do that. If TechSmith isn't working well for you, you can use YouTube, you can use Zoom, you can use anything you're familiar with using. Upload it to YouTube, because YouTube is very versatile while TechSmith isn't. And then from YouTube, when you go to the right-hand side to create an item, it will ask you if you want to upload a YouTube video. And that is how I've been doing these lectures since TechSmith has not been uploading my audio for some reason. So this is a chance to work out the bugs. I suggest you start on this video early. And if you run into any issues and TechSmith isn't working for you and you're not finding another way, make sure to contact me. But what I want to do is get the bugs worked out before you have to use this for your project. All I'm looking for is by next Tuesday, you're able to upload an audio and video that you share through TechSmith. It's not going to be graded or anything. It is an attendance activity. Don't wait until Monday night to try and do this, because TechSmith is not always user-friendly. I have provided a link to some videos on using TechSmith. It's not that difficult if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, you might want to change browsers. You might want to see if you can use someone else's computer who's having luck with it. Your homework number 1, which is due Friday, is in 2 parts. One of them is to go and explore the National Airport System, and then go look at the Bozeman Master Plan. And let me stop this a second. And when you go into the Bozeman Plan reports and statistics, the information on the master plan is down below these maps and diagrams. So make sure you go there to find that. And let me double check. I think that was our last slide. So next week, we will be looking at more specifically at the FBO level and how that ties into your business plan. Again, even if your business plan is not directly at the airport, it is still part of the aviation industry, so you have to think about how you interface with it. That is the end of the first of 2 mini lectures for this week. Plus, there will be a 1 or 2 career videos uploaded for Thursday. Have a good day.